I just want to say thank you guys for supporting us here at Airsoft GI, whether it be subscribing and watching our videos or going to airsoftgi.com for all your airsoft needs. One of the things that we're really big on is giving back to you, the airsoft community. It's because of you we are able to do what we do. If you haven't heard, over the past couple of years, we've given back to the airsoft community in the form of our live stream giveaway, where we've given away tens of thousands, if not over $100,000 in prizes and Airsoft GI store credit. We've helped hundreds of airsofters fulfill their wildest airsoft dreams, and we want you to be the next big winner. So if you want to participate in our live stream giveaway, all you have to do is make an order at airsoftgi.com. As long as your order is $20 or greater, you will automatically be entered. And that's for any product that we have available, whether it's one product or across multiple products, as long as your order is $20 or greater before shipping and taxes. Now, the next step, which is probably the most important step, is to make sure that you tune into our live stream giveaway every Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you are not there to claim the prize, you will not be able to claim it later. And the unclaimed prizes will get stacked onto the following live stream giveaway for an even larger prize pot. We do this to give other people the chance to win big. So it's very important that you make sure you tune in. Now, if you happen to miss the deadline for the live stream giveaway, don't worry, because your name will be added to the following live stream giveaway. So you'll still have your chance to win, but it's very important that you are there to claim the prize. So make sure you tune into the live stream giveaway. As airsofters, we understand that getting your dream airsoft setup can be expensive and can feel impossible. So this is our way of saying thank you for supporting us, and we want to help you achieve your airsoft dreams. And we're rooting for you. And we hope that you are the next big live stream giveaway winner.
Hello, all my fellow misfits of the mayonnaise. We have returned with a long-awaited view into our private collection. And boy, do we have something tasty, something delightful for you today in our private collection. What is going on, Mail Gang? It's Boaz here, and we're finally back at it again with another private collection video. I know it's been a long time coming, and that's honestly because most of the folks here at GI, we haven't really gotten any new airsoft guns per se. But I'm very excited to go over the new KW EVE-9 that I have recently acquired and what went into it. If you guys have been paying attention, you've seen my Tactical Gearheads video for the latest BB Wars, or if you guys were out there at US Airsoft Fields for a BB Wars event, you probably will recognize this gun. And yes, this is the exact same gun that I have taken to our BB Wars Coastal Front event, and that was mainly, I guess you would say, a trial run, a test run of the EVE-9 with it in its final configuration. I was able to work out some kinks after that event, and now I can finally say that this setup is pretty much done, or in a way perfected. Full disclosure, this gun was provided to me by KWA, so all my shameless shilling I've done over the years finally paid off, and they gave me a free gun to have. And actually, fun fact, if you guys go way back to our last BB Wars event in Texas, you guys have probably seen me run this exact EVE-9, just a lot more stripped down, obviously. That was a gun that KWA has provided for me to use during that event, and I absolutely fell in love with the gun. Starting out at the very tip of the gun, I am running a Lancer Tactical, I believe it's called the Mark 16 Mach suppressor. Now, I really enjoy running Mach suppressors on all my airsoft guns, and one of two reasons. Number one, I can run a longer inner barrel if I need to, and number two, it does give you some kind of practical application when it comes to rounding corners and going behind cover. There is such a concept called standoff distance, where I notice a lot of times, a lot of airsofters, because we're running shorter guns, we just like to suck up directly behind cover and peek out. However, when you do that, it does expose a lot of your body and you end up getting shot. So I like to just put a Mach suppressor in front of me, just so it gives me the extra few inches, so that way I can stand away from the cover and peek out, and you expose a lot less of yourself. It's a very helpful tip, and I would highly recommend anyone running a shorter gun like this to run a Mach suppressor just to help you out. Next up on the gun is going to be the Opsman 800 flashlight. This is a pretty bright flashlight. I am fairly surprised at how bright this light is and how good the throw is. Generally for me, I just tend to bite the bullet and just buy real flashlights for real firearms because they're super bright and they throw really far. However, I decided to, I guess, go a little bit more the affordable route and just went with an airsoft dedicated light, and I'm pretty happy with my purchase. and it does do the job very well. It's mounted to a thorntail style mount, so I can extend the placement of the flashlight so it's closer up to the mock suppressor. The flashlight does come with an integrated tail switch, which I have went ahead and placed on the top of the rail here. This is not mounted by any like permanent fixture, by the way. I have secured this by using 2 Ranger bands. I just didn't want to use any like adhesive Velcro or any zip ties because I just want the option of having to yeet this out or putting it back on whenever I want to. The only non-functional piece on this airsoft gun is going to be the FMA end gall. I just only got it purely for the aesthetic. I just love how the end gall looks. I tried zeroing the laser and stuff on the gun when I first got the end gall, and honestly, it's pretty limited as to what you can do. You can't really do what you would call like a parallel laser zero. Moving next up on the handguard itself, I am running a Magpul Paraclip M-Lock sling mount because I don't really run QD slings. I like to use the HK clips or any kind of hook because in my opinion, it just feels a little bit more secure for me. I've had some pretty bad experiences with QD slings in the past, so I just went back to the clip. Moving down to the lower parts of the handguard, I have the KWA original foregrip. It comes with all of KWA's original series of airsoft guns, and I really love the way it feels in my hands. However, it was a bit too long for me, so I went ahead and took an angle grinder, chopped off the excess, so now it is right around a little less than half of the original foregrip. But it, again, acts more like a handstop for me. It's more comfortable, but I really love the texturing that KWA did to the foregrip. Now, around the handguard and wherever I can place them, I went ahead and attached the new PTS Direct to M-Lock rail covers. I just love the way it matches the texture of the KWA foregrip. It's less on the aggressive side, but I just love feeling that little bit of texture just so I can reference my left hand when I'm holding the gun. The final piece of the handguard is going to be my sling retention bungee. If you're running slings, a lot of times slings, it just gets everywhere where you don't want it to go when you're storing them. So I straight up just took a little bit of bungee cord again, and that little bungee retainer clip, and I just tied it to the front end of my gun so that way I can just stow my sling right underneath and it just sucked right into the gun, so I don't have to worry about untangling a sling when I take it out of a gun bag or a case. On the top of my upper receiver, I guess this will be the hottest point of contention because I know a lot of you guys have been asking about my optics setup, all my tattoo gearheads, and unfortunately, due to the legality of it all, I can't really disclose exactly what all of the components are on the gun, but what I can say is what we carry here is the Unity Micro Riser. I really love these Unity mounts because it just takes the strain off of your neck and it keeps your head up in a more natural position when you're aiming down your sights, and I find this really comfortable, really beneficial. I could stay on the sights of my gun for a lot longer because again, there's a lot less strain on the neck. I'm not craning my neck forward to aim down my sights. I really love running magnifiers because way back in the day when a lot of the magnifiers were flipped aside, I have run setups like that before in the past. However, I just hated how much flop you get and you just have this weight basically leaning off the side of your gun. It was just really inconvenient when you were playing. However, with these new flip to center magnifier mounts, it just changes the game. Just everything's just so sleek and just well designed and put together. I just cannot go away from this setup. In fact, when I was running in BB Wars, I just loved the extra capability that I had when I was in CQB environments. I flipped the magnifier down and I can get a quick sight picture, and then when I needed to take longer range shots, I can simply just move that magnifier up to the center and I'll be able to reach out people across the field. Now, I know all you guys on the comments, you guys are fiending over the gear and where I got all this optics and all this stuff. All I can say is overseas. Moving down to the rear of this receiver, I went ahead and I installed the included KWA QD sling mount. Now, KWA does give you 2 QD sling mounts with every KWA original gun, and I just love how KWA just kind of thought everything through with this gun. Again, they give you that free vertical grip, and they give you a QD mount where you would need to run your QD sling. Now again, like I said, I don't run a QD sling, however, I do have a QD swivel mounted to the rear of the receiver, and I just clip into with my 2-point sling. For the stock, you're going to notice that this is not the traditional stock that you're going to see on your KWA EVE-9, and that's because I went ahead and I just swapped the stock for a KWA T6 KWA, they do, on their website, they do sell the tanker stock on its own. So if you want to make the modification, you can do it. It'll seamlessly integrate into the rear of the EVE-9. And I just love that tanker stock look with the longer barrel. It just reminds me of kind of like an MCX, but it's not an MCX. As soon as I came home from BB Wars, I literally just yoinked the end plate off of my QRF Mod 1 and I stuck it onto my EVE-9, and then I went to work modifying the end plate and the tanker stock. So I took a soldering iron, and basically where you see at the bottom of the end plate and also the bottom of the tanker stock, you're gonna notice this little bump on the end plate. And that's where it clicks into the bottom of the tanker stock. It's not a very secure connection. So I literally just melted a hole right through that little bump that you see on the end of the end plate, and basically melted a hole wide enough to fit this little luggage tag wire thing that you can buy off of Amazon for like $5. I had to melt another hole through the end plate with the soldering iron, basically where at the bottom of the end plate you're gonna see that there's this little cutout. It exposes a little bit of the plastic of the end plate. I just went ahead and just melted another hole right through it with the soldering iron. And then I just looped this luggage tag wire through all of it, and they thread right in. This is the reason why I picked this specifically. They screw right in together, so that way you have a very secure connection. In the event that the end plate does come loose, it just hangs right off the gun. And then if I happen to notice it while playing, I could just clip it right back in and it's no problem. You might be wondering, how am I gonna fit a battery in here with all these wires and stuff in the tanker stock? Actually, right now on the gun itself, there is a battery that is wired into the gun. So even with the batteries and all the wires that come with it, I could still comfortably attach this mod and don't have to worry about the tanker stock coming off ever again. Now you're probably wondering, what have I done to this gun internally? Pretty much nothing. And that's just the way I like it. That's the reason why I run, or I choose KWA, because you don't need to do anything to the gun out of the box. The only modification internally that I've made to the gun are going to be the unicorn barrel and bucking combo. Not to say that KWA's barrel and bucking setup is bad out of the box. In fact, I really like their barrel and bucking. I just wanted to test out how good the unicorn inner barrel and bucking combo were. I was able to take the EVE-9 and pretty much snipe people across the field with it, which is pretty insane. So the quality of the inner barrel from Unicorn just speaks for itself, along with their bucking. I highly recommend their buckings. Their buckings can just lift 0.0 gram BBs and just send them sailing across the field. I was thoroughly impressed by that. But other than that, everything else about the gun is 100% stock. The reasons why I don't touch KWA internals out of the box are because of two things. Number one, they're not really meant to be upgraded. Nowadays, with their AG 2.5 system, they do offer a lot of aftermarket compatibility, but again, I don't really think that the KWA internals were really meant to be upgraded because they're so good out of the box. I have no complaints about the rate of fire or the trigger response. I was completely happy with that. Even though KWA does offer space in the gearbox to add an aftermarket MOSFET, I don't even really think it needs it, because KWA is probably the only airsoft manufacturer out there that advertised that you could safely run an 11-1 LiPo out of the box without any MOSFET. And you know what? Out of all the KWA guns that I own personally that are like that, I've never had any issues. I've been running 11-1 LiPos out of all my KWA guns for years without any trouble. I received this gun from KWA at the summer of 2022. And now here we are at spring of 2023. The gun is completed in its final configuration. And I guess it was like roughly close to a year, I guess, to have everything set up the way it is. I spent the majority of the time just kind of looking at the EVE-9 and be like, what do I want to do with this gun? And I couldn't really come to a decision, so I just decided to make it a jack of all trades. I wanted something that I can take into a CQB environment and be competitive, or run it outdoors and have a great time. I'm just continually just impressed at what KWA has been doing lately, especially with their original series of guns. I mean, they're just so nice and lightweight, and they're really competitive in any environment that you want to take it in. I just had to take any of my guns that I build, I just want to take it out to a big event such as BB Wars or a Milsim event and just put it through the ringer to see where my setups lack or where they excel in. And I'm just really happy that KWA EVE-9 has held up really impressively, honestly. And if you guys are on the fence about getting a KWA original series of guns, I would highly recommend it. They make a perfect second gun or a perfect backup gun just because of how reliable they are. And they're pretty affordable, especially because you're getting their high quality internals at a lower cost polymer package. Thank you all for visiting once again into our private collection. I really hope this installment has tickled your fancy in all the right ways for the joys of airsoft and the hobby as a whole. If you guys would like to see more of this content, please make sure to hit that subscribe button as well as liking the video and sharing it with all your fellow misfits of the mayonnaise. If you guys like to support the channel directly, please make sure to get all your airsoft needs at airsoftgi.com, as it helps the channel directly and helps keep the lights on and that camera rolling. This is Boaz, and we'll see you next time, fellow misfits of the mayonnaise, in our private collection.